Computer. All right, everybody, thank you so much for being here today. This is the Body, Spirit, Soul Transformational Experience. And today, what we're going to experience is the topic on emotional um, intelligence. This is where we're going to couple information about our emotions, our feelings, and a little bit about mood as well. Because what I've learned is that those are three entities that are not interchangeable. In all of my life, I grew up and I used feelings and emotions interchangeably. But psychologist says that that's not the truth of the matter. And so, what I wanted to do today is to go into like a series of one-on-one information and education for you so you can learn a little bit more about that. If everybody can just mute for me until we get ready to do Q&A, that would be great. I appreciate it. And so one of the things that I wanted to start off with this article with the emotional psychology states is that how we interpret and respond to the world around us makes us who we are and contributes to our quality of life. Now, see that part where it says about our quality of life, that's what's important to me because I know so much in my growing up, little girl, even teen years, young adult. I was emotional a lot, and I dealt with a lot of different feelings. And the understanding that I didn't have about what was going on with me led me into a spiral of a very deep, black, dark hole with anxiety, panic attacks, and depression. And so the more that I've learned over those years, I've come out of that. And even when these situations come up that are triggered by an external process, external situation, or even my internal being, then I've been able to handle them with more grace and with more efficiency in getting myself out of it before it gets too deep and too detrimental to my well-being, whether that be my body, my spirit, or soul. So it says that this is what makes humans react as they do certain stimuli and how those reactions affect us physically and mentally. So that's the part of the emotional psychology. What I wanted to do is stop right there. And I just wanted you to take a moment and to just sit back and relax and even close your eyes. When you close your eyes, what I want you to do is I want you to be able to feel what you're feeling. If there's an emotion there, or even if there's a feeling there that you brought to the table when you were coming into this experience, I want you to be able to feel the feeling, the emotion that might be around and surrounding you. You can take a couple of deep breaths, blow it out, breathe in through your nose, and then blow it out through your mouth, and just kind of feel. And then when you get ready to participate, I want you to let me know what your feelings is. How you doing, Tony? If you're coming in, please go ahead and mute for me because we're recording.
Okay.
And
Good
I
afternoon.
thank you, ma'am. And so if you've relaxed a little bit, you've been doing a little bit of deep breathing, I want you to go ahead and open your eyes when you're ready. And just let me know, you guys. Go ahead. It's not many of us on the call today. So I want you to go ahead and just let me know, what are you feeling? And you can see there's a list of feelings here. If you can't really identify what the feeling is, maybe you can look at this list and maybe you can, tell me what the thing is that you're feeling right now. I was telling Donna, and I told my sister too, that, when I came on, she asked me how I was feeling. And that's what we'll say. How are you feeling today? And I said I was feeling rushed, which I was, because I was doing some last minute preparation, which was causing me to feel a little bit of anxiousness as well. But after I was done with preparing and I was settled down and I started the Zoom, then I started to feel more calm and assured that everything was going to go well with today's experience. So is there anybody who would like to share right now? What are you feeling? Nobody? Okay.
I want to say that I'm feeling a little rushed, because I wanted to been finished, taking my mother grocery shopping and stuff, and this way I wouldn't be in the car,
Yeah.
having a meeting. I could be, relaxed somewhere else. So yeah, I'm feeling a little bit rushed today.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that, Donna. And we can, be getting in those situations when we're out and about, driving, and even right now, even participating in a Zoom meeting while you're driving or doing other things may cause you to feel certain kind of ways. Not as relaxed or calm that you might if you were at home sitting at your computer, being able to get you some iced tea or some water and then partake. I hope that resonates with somebody. I think that's a lot of times when they're having Zoom meetings, they always tell you to try to come to the meeting in a quiet space and place for yourself so you can get all of the activities and get all of whatever you need out of this as well. Go ahead, Jennifer. You have your hand raised. What can I do?
Yeah, I got taught how to do that today. I'm feeling relaxed because I had actually more time than I thought I was going to have to be ready. And I don't have something that I'm bombing off to right after today. So, um, it's I'm feeling relaxed and just ready to enjoy and try
Beautiful.
active listening.
I love it. And coming into a relaxed state is one of the core things that we would like to do is be more relaxed than stressed out. I know for me in my life, I've dealt with a lot of stress, a lot of overwhelm, a lot of anxiousness and fear. And these are all part of those states that we were talking about, which are our feelings and our emotions that actually go hand in hand. So let's talk about what is an emotion. If you're just coming on, hi, I thank you for participating. If you can mute yourself, that would be great for me and the recording. So thank you and welcome aboard. So let's talk about what the emotions are. Emotions are often confused with feelings and moods, like I was saying before, but these three terms are not interchangeable. Okay. So emotions are defined as a complex reaction pattern involving experiential, behavioral, and psychological elements. Emotions are how individuals deal with matters of situations that they find personally significant in their lives. Emotional experiences have three components to them. There's a subjective experience, there's a physiological experience, and then there's a behavioral or expressive response. Now, feelings arise from an emotional experience. So you're going to have an emotional experience, and then you're going to have the feelings that come up out of that emotional experience. And a feeling is the result of an emotion, and it may be influenced by memories, beliefs, and other factors. Now, this thing about emotional intelligence, emotions, feelings, moods is complex. And so we're just doing the basics today on the one-on-one level. It's very complex, but I want you to get the basics because if you really truly understood your emotional state, your feelings, whenever they come up, and any mood that you might be in, then you're able to utilize that for the better. I've been told that there's no negative or bad emotion, but they do call feelings, in a sense, some of them negative. And so this is what we're going to do with all that information. We're going to learn how to utilize whatever is not working or serving us. I'd rather say that. Not bad, not negative. It's just not serving me anymore. And when it's not serving you, then you want to look at what is serving me in my life to help me have a better existence here on earth and live that full, abundant life that we've all been said we can have, right? So then there's this mood that they were talking about. And this mood is any short-lived emotional state. So it's an emotional state, it's short-lived, usually with a very low intensity. So it's not very high intensity. And then the moods differ from emotions because they lack stimuli. So there wasn't anything in the external environment that caused you to get into this mood. It just sometimes it just comes out and there's no clear reason why. Now, the one person that I've been following in regards to emotions, emotional intelligence is Tony Roberts. He's just a guru out here that is a person that helps people to develop in their personal lives and their professional lives and become the best of who they want to become. And so what he talks about is that there is a power of using your emotions as action signals. It calls you to action when you're having them. And he says this is not about being negative thinking and it's not about denying your emotions. So hear that real clearly, you guys. It's not about negative thinking and it's definitely not about denying what your emotion is or what you're feeling or even what mood you're in at that particular time. So he says is that what do you want more in life? Anything else? You think about that. What is it that you want more in life than anything else? And so if anybody can go ahead and share, what do you want right now? If you can just tell me one thing that you really want out of life, what would that be? It's,
I, I would want to be healthier.
there you go.
I
Anybody?
just, I keep, I keep trying. I'm not stop trying, like we were saying prior to everybody else getting on, I had lost some weight, like 2 years ago, and it was struggle in getting that off. And
Yes.
then I don't know, I have to really sit back and think what happened to make me, gain those poundages back.
Right. And so
So now I know I can do it. So I know I got to put that foot forward to keep, to get back to where I was.
there you go. And I'm sure you will do it. And especially when you get this information today, you're going to learn a little bit more how you can get that accomplished. So who else? What do you want more than anything in life right now? I'll tell you what I want. I want to be a successful entrepreneur, serving women of faith in my business that helps me to fulfill my purpose. That's what I truly want. Anybody else? So let me tell you this. Tony Robbins truly believes, and he's been teaching this 40 plus years now, what people truly want. They're going to say they want the car, they want the house, they want the dog, they want the marriage, they want the relationship, they want the job, they want to lose the weight, they want the business, they want this, that, and the other. But what they truly want is to feel better. It's all about the feelings. This is what they want, truly. When it's deep down inside, this is what you really want, is to feel better. Emotions are the ultimate powerhouse for you. They help you to make a decision to get married. They help you to seek new employment. They help you to say, oh, let's get pregnant. They help you find a new love in your life. They help you start your own business. This is what emotions does for you or can do for you. And there's another thing that emotions can do. Emotions can either cause you to be ill or it can cause you to be healthy. Now that right there is one of those things that really resonate with me because I'm always on a journey of trying to figure out what can I do to become a more healthier individual because I've suffered in pain. I've suffered in so many different areas when it comes to my physical being. And I've always tell people this, and I need to stop saying this, is that every time my physical being goes, my mental and my emotional goes. Well, that's what I was used to. But the one thing that we're going to learn today is that we have the power to change how we feel, and we have the power to change our emotions. That's what that psychologist has shown us. Science has shown us. It's all about the way the brain has been wired. So that's why, again, I'm always going to come back to the body, the spirit, and the soul. It goes hand in hand. And when you learn more about that, then you're able to live a better life. And then this is stated is that emotions are the core to call us to action to change our lives, or it should be that thing. Now, for me, I know for many years, I was deep in emotional bondage, especially with anxiety, depression, and panic attacks. I mean, I was fearful. I was not moved to action. I stayed stuck for a long time in that cycle, just thinking that basically I was about to die because couldn't nobody help me. No medication, no doctor, no nothing could help me. But it wasn't again until I found, and I believe this was God that sent in my way, it was a 15-week self-help attacking anxiety and depression. And I've got that right here today in my room. And it helped me to understand what it was. And that's today, if you understand your feelings, your emotions, your moods that you're in, you can understand how to change them because you have the power to do so. Do anybody have anything that they want to share in regards to a story, something that you felt in your life where you felt like you were so stuck in these feelings and in these emotions or having these moods? If you can just share with us, I would love to hear your story. As you're coming on, I just want to say hi. Hi, Shirley. Thank you so much. If you can mute for me. We're going through emotional intelligence right now, you guys. We're talking about emotions, feelings, and moods. They're not interchangeable. They're different, and that's what we're learning today. Well, if no one wants to share, let me tell you this. There are 4 patterns to emotion told by Tony Robbins. The first one is an avoidance. And this is where we don't want to be. You don't want to avoid your emotional state. You don't want to avoid how you're feeling. You want to utilize that information because that's what it is. It's the body and the mind, the brain is giving you some information about what is going on from your external world and from your internal world. There's something there that you need to pay attention to and act upon. Then there's the second pattern. There's the endure it. Endure. I'm going to endure this by saying, oh, yeah, this is the way I feel, but it's okay. I've been here before. It's going to be all right, so forth and so on. You're just going to endure it. The third one is you use it for competition. Well, you know what? I can tell you that my story or situation is worse than yours. So you're in competition about who's feeling worse and all this good stuff. And that's not where you want to be either. But it's the fourth place of the patterns of emotion is that you learn from them and you utilize them. You learn from them and utilize them. If you can look on this list that I have posted here, there are happy, sad, angry, and other feelings as breakdowns, right? And as you can see, happy as an emotion has so many different feelings that go up under. Sad is the same way, and angry is another way. And fearful will be another one too, that lists all these different sub matters or sub content. And that's why it's so complex. So just remember, we create our own emotions by what we choose to focus on. I'm going to say that again. We create our own emotions by what we choose to focus on. And how we feel at any moment in time is the result of the meaning we put on the experience. I heard a story recently, you guys. This is so interesting. There's a different culture. Can't remember the tribe this was. But when their loved one passed away, their loved one was put in an inferno of fire, burned, and they just was happy. There was no sadness. There was no tears shed. There was not feeling no grief. They knew in their culture that this was great. And so if you come to the Western culture, when there is death and dying and grief and mourning, it's totally different. So even in cultures, there are different ways that they take these feelings and they utilize them or not. So that's just very important. Again, if you guys please stop me because I will talk and I got a lot of information here, but I want to hear from you. I want to hear your experience. I want to hear how you're feeling today. What kind of emotion you might have today coming into the meeting. And so let's share a little bit because it does help give us some understanding as well. Now, going back to that meaning, you want to be careful on the meaning that we attach to things because this can determine the quality of your life. And I know that to be true. There was 12 long years where I suffered because of the way I was thinking, the emotions I had, the feelings that were behind it, because I wasn't understanding what was going on with me. So the psychological aspect and the physiological aspect came out, and it wasn't good for me at all. I was not functioning. I could not work. I couldn't even take care of my kids at the time. I had to have help from other people. And this is the reason why I do the work that I do. So women can understand how we've been created to be and utilize it and make those choices to use it for the good to serve us better in life. There's a definition I want to give you, which is emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is the capacity to be aware of, control, and express one's emotion and to handle interpersonal relationships judiciously and empathetically. Judiciously and empathetically handle these interpersonal relationships. It's been said that emotional intelligence is the key to both personal and professional success. So the more you learn, the more intelligence you have about emotions, the more you utilize them as a power key for you in your life, the better life you'll have. And I'm learning that for myself, and it's true. So the kingdom key that we came together today for us to do is to be able to unlock and discover ways to overcome worry, doubt, and fear, and to be able to think clearly. So this goes back into your emotions. It goes back into your feelings. How can we unlock and discover ways to overcome things that bombard us? Like, and the one that I have to signal on is fear. Fear is a great one. It's an underlying factor in a lot of things in our lives, in relationships, in our health, in our jobs, in everything. There's this fear factor. But next time we come together, I just want you to know we're going to turn that faith, not fear, because you got free will. That's what we're going to be talking about the next time. But I just wanted to bring that up. And Tony Robbins says that he says that emotions are not negative and there's no bad ones. These are ones that come up that are going to call you to action because you're going to understand or try to get to understand what is going on at a particular time. What was the external stimuli that came up in your life to cause you to think a certain way or to feel a certain emotion or a feeling, and then you reacted upon it, whether favorably or not. And so, as you can see on this list, again, there is so many, and this is just a very small list of feelings. It's so complex, you guys. We've got some basic ones down, such as I'm sad, I'm feeling lonely, I'm disappointed, I'm angry, I'm fearful, I'm worrying, I'm doubtful. We've got some of the basics down, but some of this stuff we don't even understand. Sometimes somebody will say, how are you feeling today? I don't know. I can't even tell you how I'm feeling today. But the more and more intelligent you become about your emotions and your feelings, the better you'll be able to handle the situations and to have a better life. I'll keep reiterating that because it's so true. So here I wrote down is how you can help your emotions to serve you. These are 6 ways that you can help utilize your emotions to serve you in a positive way. And I think I did my walk and talk today, you guys. If you didn't see it, go back to my video. It was on emotional intelligence, emotions today. And just being out in nature and walking and talking to you guys, it brought me peace. I was very peaceful out there, and I could feel that I was peaceful. And that's one of the fruits of the spirit that I was talking about, because today is Saturday, and today we have spiritual abundance in our lives, or we're going to try to strive for that for today. So this is number 1. Identify what the emotion is, you guys. You got to identify what it is. You got to educate yourself. What is this emotion that I'm feeling? And then we'll go into some ways on how you can capture this information. Then the second one is what is the message that the emotion is offering you? There's a message behind every emotion. There's a message behind every feeling that is trying to cause you to action. Then number 3 is get really curious about it. Don't judge it. Don't be critical of it. Be graceful. Get real curious and be very graceful with it. Number 4 is be reassured that your work, that you can work this out in the past. You have done it in the past, so you can get done through it now. Just be reassured that whatever this is, I've done it before. I felt this before. I can get past it. And if it's something new, again, get curious about it and figure it out. And then the 5th one is get certain that you can handle this in the future, that this thing might come up again. And this is one of the things that I've dealt with. I've dealt with overwhelm and stress in the workplace over and over and over again. I've dealt with this for a reason. So I started to have to look at myself and said, what part am I playing in this overwhelm? You know, I've been working since I was 14 years old. I probably came to a point that this is not my purpose. This is not what I feel good about doing anymore. Yes, the career was great. Yes, I love serving in that area, but this is not the purpose that I'm supposed to be walking in. There's something else that God is leading me towards. So maybe I'll become resistant to working, and I've caused some of my issues myself. That can be true. And then the last one, number 6, is use your emotions to enjoy your life. Use your emotions, your feelings to enjoy your life. Even though circumstances, situations, problems, trials, and tribulations are going to come, you should be able to identify them, work through them, and make them serve you in the best way possible. I'm going to stop there and I'm going to open up the chat. I want to hear from you guys. Tell me what's going on. How are you feeling about this conversation? Is this helping you? Is it resonating with your heart? How can you utilize your emotions and your feelings to make a better life for yourself? I hear somebody. If you unmute it, you can speak, because I don't see you, but I can hear you.
Andrea, my hand is up. Good afternoon. It's Tony, everybody. Happy Saturday.
Hi.
Hi, I am driving because I do have an appointment, so I apologize for that, ladies, but I did not want to miss today's session. So praise God. This is awesome, awesome, awesome about feelings and emotions. I think I kind of get a little still confused about the definition or the difference between feelings and emotions, because they are so intertwined with each other. But if I'm looking at your list of feelings right now, today, I could say that I felt actually in the presence today, this Saturday morning, one, grateful and relaxed. I felt really relaxed, maybe because one, I had a really good night rest and sleep, and that makes so much difference. You know, I had a good sleep, y'all, and I'm telling you, I woke up refreshed. I was like, thank you, Lord. I had me breakfast. I never really eat breakfast in the morning, y'all. So I had me a little sausage and egg and toast sandwich with some coffee and orange juice. And I didn't. Well, I love my grandkids dearly, which I'm gonna be having in a few hours after this. But I didn't have them this morning, so that was two. I was peaceful. I was able to take my little hot relaxation shot bath, and I just felt relaxed. You know,
Yeah.
I felt like today was going to be a great day despite of all things. And it just made a world of difference that I was in a state or a place of relaxed. I didn't feel like I was rushed. I probably could have been a little bit more productive today, but I feel like I'm productive every day. So today I just wanted it to be relaxful and
Right.
peaceful. And that's how what kind of state that I'm gonna continue to try to stay in today, a relaxed and peaceful state of mind. But it really did all stem from me getting that rest because
I be,
every day I deal in pain, y'all. I do. I still deal in pain with from an accident that occurred. Many of you guys know, and many of you don't know that I was hit several years ago, and it has affected me emotionally, spiritually, physically, especially physically in my body, where it has caused degenerative joint pain and nerve pain. And I did go ahead and get the two knee replacement surgeries because um, it was just so much of physical therapy that helped. I was in physical therapy for years, and I'm not saying that it didn't help. The water aerobics really was one of my best friends. That did help the joint and the pain, but I still deal with excruciating pain every day, y'all. Now I do know that there's a part that I need to play as far as my weight, because now that pain that's happened in my L2 and L3 lumbar, which is the back, the lower back part, I never let them have surgery, or I never did have surgery on the back. Okay. But the extra weight, and I know that I am an emotional eater. Okay. I am a foodie I know I'm a foodie. I eat all the wrong things. And I ain't gonna say I don't care, but that's what comforts me. That's what gives me a peacefulness. I like some good eating, okay? But I'm not moving around like I should to knock off them calories. So I got all that extra weight and dead weight on me that stays, and I'm sure that contributes to this back pain as well, you know. So I do try to balance out and don't beat myself up terribly. If I want that fried chicken and fried fish on Friday, I'm gonna get it. But then I gotta know that on the rest of the week that I gotta have me some more vegetables and salads and stuff. And I am gonna get to that point, and I keep saying it, where I need to be more consistent. And when it's talking about moving my body and walking, but if I stand too long, y'all, even in the line, in the bank, whoever, it hurts. It hurts me tremendously to just stand. So when I walk, I'm out of breath. I'm out of shape. I want to be able to get to that point where I can get back across those laps, Andrea. And you inspire me every day. I look at your videos that you send out there walking in the nature, and I ride by. I be like, okay, girl, I'm gonna get back out there with you one day, real soon. Now I don't know if I'm gonna make it to the Swallow Cliff where we all did when we was, walked up there, Shirley and Donna and all of us, when we did the stairs that Swallow Cliff and Palos Side up there.
yeah.
I don't know how many stairs it was, but I made it, y'all. But so I do know that maybe for me, I just need to be more consistent. I gotta do it and not just say it and then be about it, But I feel in a peaceful, restful place right now. And I feel content. I mean, yeah, I could always do better. I'm not gonna say I'm not satisfied, because I'm not happy with my weight or this pain and what I'm carrying in my body.
Mhm.
But I and emotional intelligence, I was very ignorant about that. So I was not very aware, emotionally intelligent about what was to, besides the pain that I was going through. But through our ministries, through learning how to take self-care better, aware about myself, I've learned a lot more than I did 5 or 10 or 15 years ago. So
Yeah.
I have grown and am still growing emotionally intelligent, because I didn't ever even used to look at the labels, what was in there, what I'm putting in my body, even with the medication. It's so many side effects with the medication. I would just do it because the doctor said that, you
Yeah.
know.
Well, Tony, you know
So
what? I just have to say this for you. I really appreciate that you sharing this because you said so much. You've had a fluctuation of different type of emotions and feelings. A lot of it centered around your pain and suffering with your back and so forth and so on. You had your knees and all that good stuff going on. So I understand that. But the thing is that what I'm encouraging today is, yes, get more tools under your belt, understand emotional intelligence, and I'm gonna go a little bit more deeper for you too, that this is the thing that's going to turn things around. It's going to help you to take action and to help you to make those decisions, that you just don't stay stuck in a cycle of saying, I'm a foodie, I'm going to get that food in, but maybe it might encourage you to say, okay, yeah, I want to lose this whatever amount of pounds. And I know that my triggers are going to be external or internal. It can be just me internally triggering myself. And so, in order for you to change that, it still goes back to the brain. The brain is wired and fired in a way that it's going to continue to keep you there, to keep you safe. You know what I'm saying? And so, the more that you learn about your feelings, why am I feeling like today? You can take your feelings today and you can utilize and say, I want to feel that tomorrow again. And guess what? You can if you want to. If you really truly want to, you have the power to, and that's where emotional intelligence come in. You have the power to make those kind of choices, to feel and have the emotion that you want to. But it
man,
takes work and it takes
yeah,
practice, it takes determination and consistency, right?
thank you.
Because
Yes,
I've learned that emotional intelligence is learned and it's learnable. It's not necessary that this is the way you've been, genetically wired. Not necessarily. It is learned and it's learnable from the experts. That's what they tell us. And they try to show us how to do that. But thank you for
thank,
sharing. What I
no
wanted to
problem.
do is couple with that, Tony, is that in the process of the emotions, there's three things that we talked about: the subjective experience. And what the subjective experience is, this is where you have a stimulus that started the whole thing off. Okay. While basic emotions are expressed by all individuals, regardless of their culture, their upbringing, the experience that produces them can be highly subjective. It's subjective. You are different from me and the people around the corner and in another state and all that. It's subjective. And so subjective experiences can range from something as simple as seeing a color. Just a color would get it set off. That's the stimuli. Or something as major as losing a loved one or getting married. Okay, so that's your subjective experience. Then there's a physiological response. Physiological. We all know how it feels to have our hearts beat fast when we're fearful, right? That's a physiological. And this physiological response is the result of an automatic nervous system that we've talked about before in the beginning. And this reaction is to the emotion we're experiencing. Okay. So we get a physiological, you're gonna, like if you're fearful and your heart is racing, some people get real sweaty palms. Like if you have to go up on stage and do a presentation and you're fearful of doing that, so you can get sweaty and all that good stuff. For me, when I get angry, my ears get red and burning hot. That's the internal stimuli from my physiological that is happening within my body. So again, it all goes together, right? And then the last thing is the behavioral response. The behavioral response is the emotion response in actual expression of the emotion. The behavioral response can include a smile, a grimace, a laugh, or a sigh, along with many other reactions, depending on um, the social norms or the personality that that person has. So that's the difference there. Now, the one thing that I remember I was talking about with your feelings and your emotions, you don't want to ignore them. You don't want to try to suppress this. You know, behavioral responses are important to signal to others how we're feeling. Okay. And then also it states here, while watching your negative and your positive emotional films, suppression of behavioral responses to emotion, they have physical effects on the participants. So I would just take myself. I think I was suppressing my stress level back in the day. I was just suppressing it, suppressing it, suppressing it. And one therapist told me it's just like throwing a whole bunch of stuff in a closet and you keep throwing it in there, never dealing with the pile up. You just keep on cluttering. You kept putting it in there and you try to close the door and the door stays shut for a little bit, but then it flies open and all that stuff comes falling out. That's you suppressing all of those emotions and feelings over a time span that is not good for you. That's why you need to deal with it, understand it right then, turn it around to make it work for you in a positive way or in a serving, I like to say serving way. Now, there's basic and complex emotions. Those are the groups that they have, basic and complex emotions. Now, this is the one point I wanted to get to. There is 8 basic emotions in which have been grouped by a psychologist. And these pairs are joy, they're opposite of each other, and sadness, anger and fear, trust and disgust, surprise and anticipation. So these are the pairs of 8 that the psychologists came up with that we can, try to get more understanding about in our lives. Now, in regards to how can we own our feelings? I think I have this. I want to share my screen. I want to pull this up for you, and I hope I can do it. Do you guys see that? You have to tell me if you can see it, you guys.
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
I see it.
Yay! Thank you, Jesus. I'm going to pull my toolbar back down. Okay. So it's owning your feelings. And so I wanted to give this to you guys so you can kind of like get some information on, okay, we've got some information about emotional intelligence. We got a little information about our emotions and our feelings and even a mood. We had a little definition about that. So how can we own our own feelings? And these are some tips to, help you be successful. The first one, as you can see to the left, it says here is allow yourself to feel. I remember in the book by Dr. Anita Phillips, and it's The Garden Within. And I think Shirley, you've heard her book and listened to it or read it. And this is where she talks about emotions and where we need to be able to identify these emotions, feel these emotions, and, manage these emotions. He gave us emotions. He doesn't want us to try to get away from it. And me, myself personally, being very transparent, I know I try to comfort myself and get away from emotions. And I just recently said to a therapist that I sometimes, when I can feel something coming up that I don't want to deal with as far as a feeling or an emotion, then what I'll do is I'll look at something and I'll start counting. If it's a calendar, I'll count 1 to 31 on the calendar. If it's a row of something, I'll count the 12 pieces of whatever it is. And I said, is that me trying to distract myself from feeling? And she said, yes. I've been doing this since I was a kid, you guys. And I'm just realizing recently that this is something that I did to use distraction from feeling. Right? And so now that I have that information, every time I go to do it, I said, you're doing it again, and I'll stop it. And I'll try to just go ahead and embrace the feeling so it can give me the message it's trying to give me so I can handle it. So the first thing is allow yourself to feel. And then the second thing, it says, don't ignore how you're feeling, right? Don't ignore it. Don't try to put it out your mind. Just go ahead and try to utilize it and not bottle it up. The third thing is talk it out. Find somebody that you can talk to about what you're feeling. And then sometimes, what you're feeling might not be the truth of the matter. You might have a mismatch there. You might be feeling something and saying you're feeling something, but actually somebody can help you go a little deeper to actually what is that thing that you think you're feeling, but it's a little bit more deeper than that. Now, for me, journaling is good. It says try journaling. Write down at least 3 feelings you had over the course of the day and what caused them. This is the way you get to learn about yourself, your feelings and your emotions, because remember, this is subjective. This has everything to do with you and not the other person. It doesn't have much to do with that stimuli externally. It can have everything internally to do with your inner person that you're trying to figure out. And then consider the strengths of your feelings. By thinking about how intense your emotions are, you may realize that what you thought you were feeling at first could better be described by another word. I think that's what I was trying to say there too. And then the last thing is see a mental health professional. Now, guys, this is what I'm going to tell you, and I've seen plenty in my lifetime. There is nothing wrong with going to counseling, seeing a therapist, getting a coach, or any of that. It's just a means of getting more tools under your belt to be able to become the best version of yourself. That's what I'm going to, challenge you and encourage you to think about those things. I know when I was first diagnosed with anxiety and depression, I did not want that. It was a stigma. I thought because I was a healthcare professional as a nurse, that doesn't go along with my profession. I'm not supposed to have mental health issues. And that's what I really, truly thought as a professional. But that's not true. I'm a human being first. And so I had to learn that there is no stigma to mental health. These are information to give us and how to get beyond it. We don't have to say that we're an anxious person. We deal with anxious moments and we get them and we get past them. And then this right here is just telling you what's underneath it all. And it asks you to describe it. I felt bad when blank, blank, blank. What was the action or the event? But what I was really feeling was blank, blank, and blank. These right here will really help you to understand your psychological, physiological situations and events that they come up. So you can become more aware. Awareness is going to be the key to all of this, you guys. And then at the end of this, then it's showing you, here's a whole bunch. Look at this. Can you imagine? We've got the little handful of feelings, positive or negative, but look at this list. It's huge. Some of these words on here I can't even pronounce and I don't even know the meaning of. But these are some of the things that we could be experiencing and don't even know how to express it to a family member, ourselves, a therapist. But the more and more you get in tune to, this is a list, this is what it could be. Let me see, let me check it out. And then, try to help yourself go past this thing. Again, the first thing that I stated in the introduction is this, and I'm going to restate it. It says, how we interpret and respond to the world around us makes up who we are and contributes to our quality of life. It contributes to our quality of life. It contributes to whether we have and live the abundant life that God has said we can live. So you have to take this in consideration and being open to all the possibilities that learning emotional intelligence, learning about your emotions and your moods, and how you can be more creative and positive in your world that will make you have a better life. This is what I have for you guys today. I hope it has opened up some of the information that you needed to get open for yourself. I'm going to take this down right now. I'm going to stop my share. Yeah, there you go. So I hope this has been helpful. Can anybody else want to do, you want to share in regards to your experience just today? What are you feeling? How is this making you feel? What is the emotion that has come up for you? Anybody, please? I can't see your hands if you're raising any. And Shirley,
So
girl, go ahead, Donna. Shirley, I was getting ready to say, you always talking. You too quiet for me today.
I was just saying, for me, I'm just making it in. So I'm just so glad I just made it home. But
Okay.
you know, moving forward, as far as I'm good. Moving forward, I said I should have planned out my day. I told my mom I'll get her by a certain time, which I did, but I wish I would have told her a little bit earlier. This way I wouldn't have been feeling so rushed in the beginning and anxious, to be more, so I wouldn't have to, well, put it this way. I'm kind of glad in one sense because I was interested in this whole scenario. So it kind of opened my eyes because just like the others, I didn't know the difference between emotions and feelings,
Okay.
So now I feel great. I made it home, I'm able to see everybody's face. Hey, Shirley and Tony, because I didn't speak to you all earlier. And, now I feel like I'll be able to continue my day feeling just better myself, feeling a little bit better, not being able to rush around and I don't know. I just feel so many different things right now.
Well, that's good. And sometimes we have multiple feelings. But the one
Yeah.
thing that I can say, the emotion that is resonating off of you is happy.
Yeah.
I am happy. Yeah, and that's a great thing. So I appreciate you sharing this with us because see,
No
these are the
problem.
kind of moments that when you get aware, that's very powerful. When you're aware of it,
Yeah.
you were feeling rushed, you were feeling a little anxious, but now that's alleviated itself. You see how your emotions and your feelings just swing and
Yeah.
and you have the ability, even in the moment that when you were feeling rushed, to have a different type of emotion behind it.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel relieved too. It's like, whew,
Yep.
that's one
Yep.
thing done today.
Yep. Absolutely. So always remember that they are trying to signal you information for you to utilize, right? Right. Especially if they're not serving you, if they're the ones that are not serving you to the best of what you want in life. Shirley, I see you, girl. What's up?
Hey, this is great because this has been an area that I was gonna say dabbling, but I've been kind of diving deep in. And I was gonna say, um, you know, a lot of times I think we look at emotions as weak, having emotions as a weakness or something that you want to push away. But learning about emotional intelligence and becoming self-aware of what's going on around you and in you actually makes you a more powerful person and a more authentic person.
Yes.
So when I was younger, I only had brothers, and there was a lot of teasing that went on in my house. And I felt like I couldn't really show my emotions because the more you showed your emotions, the more teasing that went on or they got to you. So I learned to like cover up what I really was feeling so as I could, not somebody pick on me or whatever. And
Mhm.
it followed me into my adult life. But I've been doing a practice, and you mentioned this, Andrea. It's with one of my spiritual women's groups, and it's called Sit in It. And it's sit in your emotion, because we want to run away and skip over, but our emotions is trying to tell us something.
Yes.
And so we have to be aware, and not only be aware, kind of think about, what you're feeling, why you're feeling. Is this
Mhm.
something that's come up before? Because if we didn't have emotions, emotions is passion, it's life, it's how we express, it's the thing that causes us to have, um, be alive. You'd be dead and boring if you didn't have emotions. So being able to express it and have a larger language for it. And then also, you mentioned that last thing about emotions gonna lead you to want to do something.
Mhm.
So the behavior is the thing that you want to make sure serves you well.
Yes.
That I'm not in an emotion that I'm going to do something that's against myself or cause me harm, someone else harm. So the sitting in it allows us to process it to a degree that our response and our behavior is going to be something that really authenticates who we are. And not
Yes.
something we're going to be sorry for later. Because I
Yes.
tore up the house and broke my stuff, and I, did a whole lot of crazy stuff.
Yes, indeed. I truly resonate with that.
So much. So my practice of sitting in it right now, it's kind of like if you was allergic to something and they gave you a little dose so you could develop a tolerance or something. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? It causes me to want to do something and not do it anyway, so
Mhm.
that I can process what I should be doing. And then
Yes.
I'm serving myself when I do what I know is right to do, even when my emotions are telling me to do something else. But
Yeah.
also, lastly, I want to listen to my emotions, because my emotions propel me into doing the things I'm supposed to do.
There
And
you
so if
go.
I have a passion about something, if I have a righteous anger, because I'm supposed to be mad and I'm supposed to respond a particular way, because I'm not letting this go past, because it shouldn't go past.
Mhm.
I'm not going to squelch it. I'm going to think about it, but I want to behave in a way that's going to make me be okay and the other person too.
That's good. That's good.
Okay.
I'm glad. See, I'm glad you opened up. See, this is why participation in community is so good, you guys. Because when people tell their experience and their information and their understanding, it really helps another person. So it reminded me that I had one more thing to tell you guys. And on emotional intelligence is the ability to manage both your own emotions and understand the emotion of other people around you, right?
Right.
And there are 5 key areas, you guys, and this is on recording, so you'll get the replay. So the 5 key areas of emotional intelligence is: 1 is self-awareness. Self-awareness, huge. 2 is self-regulation. Self-regulation. 3 is motivation. Like you motivated, you're doing this thing. And this one we don't talk about a lot, but I want you to go and study this one's empathy. Empathy goes along with emotional intelligence. And the last one is your social skills. So those are the 5 elements of emotional intelligence. And there's so much more information out there. Like I said, psychologists and psychiatrists and sociologists and scientific principles are all still working on all of this, but they're giving us a lot of good information to be able to live the best life that we can with it. Yes. Thank you so much, Shirley. I appreciate that. Anybody else want to share? This has been some good stuff for me. I feel a lot of joy. I feel a lot of positive energy with this conversation. That's what I'm feeling right now. Like I said, when I first started, I felt a little, rushed. I was being, last minute with some of my info. But yeah, Jennifer said powerful, Shirley. Powerful share, Shirley. Jennifer said, thank you for that. And it's, and this is just a beginning for me to do this emotional intelligence 101, because again, it affects your life in totality. Like Tony Robbins says, what do you want? You want to feel better. That's what you want in life. And so this has been great for me, and I hope it's been great for you guys. And so what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to stop the recording on here. And if anybody wants to continue to share